I spent over $10,000 on Forex courses over a period of 5 years, all in an attempt to become a profitable trader. These 5 years were incredibly painful, they were long, and for the most part, they were miserable. But spending this much money on courses taught me 7 things, 7 controversial things that I'm going to share with you today. Now, you're not going to agree with all of these, and that's the point. As a trader, you need to develop your own frameworks, your own systems and strategies that work. And so if I say something that you don't agree with, good. That means you're on the right path. But the goal of this video is to help you save both time and money. So hopefully there are a few truths, a few lessons that I'm going to share with you in this video that will help you do exactly that. And make sure you stick around until the end because we're going to be giving away 3 Lark Funding $10,000 evaluation accounts. The first lesson that I learned is that everything is just a repackaging of BabyPips. Now, there are so many courses online, so many YouTube videos, so many different strategies, but in my opinion, everything is just a repackaging of BabyPips. BabyPips is basically the website, if you're not aware, that most traders first learn from. Most traders refer their friends to this website because it's great. Everything is explained incredibly simply. An 8 or 10-year-old could understand 95% of everything that is on that website. But really, there's so many courses out there that are branded as being these complicated, unique systems, strategies, concepts, whatever it is. But after spending over $10,000 on courses, taking tons of courses, I really didn't learn anything that I couldn't have found on BabyPips. And I most certainly didn't learn a single thing that I could not have found for free online. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't take a course. Courses will help you save time. You can get to your goal faster, but it's very difficult to know who to trust and what course to take. So if you're somebody watching that has been disenfranchised or discouraged from taking courses, or you simply don't want to spend the money on courses, I'm here to tell you that you can 100% do it on your own, and everything, no matter how fancy the course looks, is really just a repackaging of BabyPips. Number 2, if 90% of traders fail, that means 90% of influencers fail too. This is an important point because if you're on social media, Instagram, Twitter, everybody looks profitable. Everybody looks like they're passing tons of evaluations. They're getting 7 figures worth of funding. But the truth is, especially having worked with many influencers at Lark Funding, unfortunately, many aren't as profitable as they give off on social media. 90% of traders fail. This is a well-known stat. So it makes sense that 90% of influencers fail as well. So all that to say, be careful who you watch, be careful who you trust, and understand that it is not difficult to create a reality, a fake reality online that makes it look like you're much more successful and profitable than you are. Number 3, if you are trading with emotions, if emotions are getting in your way and are impacting your trading, there is not a single course in the world that will fix that. For me, I failed for years as a trader, not because of my strategy, even though at the time I thought it was. I was failing because of my risk management and getting emotional. I would have a few losses and I would just absolutely lose it. I would trade emotionally. And the reality is not a single course, not one. There is not one course out there that will stop you from doing that. That is on you. It's your responsibility to not trade emotionally. It's your responsibility to understand what it is that is causing your success or failure. And I think from what we've seen at Lark Funding, many traders aren't failing because of their strategy. They're failing because of their emotion. And so you need to understand, if that is you, no course is going to fix that. You need to fix that on your own. Number 4, trendlines, support and resistance, and key levels will work just as well as the fanciest ICT concepts. Now, this one might be controversial because ICT has such a cult-like following, and that's totally fine. But what I have learned is that successful trading doesn't boil down to the strategy. It boils down to time and developing a large enough sample size. What I mean by that is most traders measure in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, but you need to measure your success or failure in hundreds, in samples of 100 trades. So I wish I could go back and I could tell myself this, because the very first strategy I learned, pattern trading, I could have been massively successful with it. But the reason that I strategy hopped for years was simply because I wasn't developing a large enough sample size. So whether you trade ICT, you trade support and resistance and trend lines, or somewhere in between, all of them will work. But they will only work if you have proper risk management and if you have time, aka if you develop a large enough sample size. Number 5, trading the 15-minute charts and below is like taking crack and trying to drive. It is fun, but sooner or later, you're going to get into trouble. What I mean by this is that I think as traders, especially when we're new, we're so anxious and excited to get into the market, to take a trade. And the lower the time frame, the more likely you are to get into a trade. But for me, my trading completely transformed when I went to the 4-hour and daily time frames. This meant that I was taking more A+ setups. It meant that I was more aligned with the bigger picture and the bigger trend of the market. When you're on the 15-minute chart, the 5-minute chart, things are moving so quickly. It's so easy to remove yourself from the big picture and just zoom so closely in that you think one thing is going on, but in reality, something completely different is going on. Number 6, most courses are just a fancy form of procrastination. If you have been trading for over 6 months, taking a course is going to be useless. And this also applies to taking and watching tons of free content on YouTube. What I mean by this is if you are over 6 months into the game, you know the variables that are going to lead to your success. You know what it is that you need to do to be successful. But oftentimes we put off these things, these difficult but often simple things, and we just take another course. We convince ourselves that the reason we're not seeing success is because we need to sign up for this course. We need to follow this influencer. We need to watch this video. But these are all just fancy forms of procrastination. Rather, for me, I knew that I needed to follow my trading plan. I knew that I needed to be patient, to wait for my setups to occur. Extra courses, new influencers, these are all fancy things, and they're incredibly enticing because it gives you an excuse in the back of your mind for why you're not where you want to be. I haven't made money, I'm not yet profitable, I'm not yet funded because I haven't taken this course. No, that's an easy thing. It's an easy thing to convince yourself of that. I did it for, again, years, 5 years. I spent $10,000, but that's not the case. The truth is, you're not successful because you're not doing the things that you know you need to do, and taking another course is just a form of procrastination. Number 6, this one I wish I had known and learned at the very beginning. I wish I knew that more time on the charts does not equal more money. Just because you spend 6 hours a day staring at your phone or computer does not mean you're going to make more money. What's difficult about trading is that it breaks down the correlation that we see in life in terms of effort and results. If you're a golfer and you spend 2 hours a day on the driving range practicing your swing, it'd be almost close to impossible for you to not become better after a year. If you want to learn a new language and you spend 3 hours a day learning that language, it'd be close to impossible for you to not improve. However, that is not the case in trading. Oftentimes, for me, the more time I spend on the charts, the worse my trading results are. There's this idea that you need to do tons of back testing because we want to feel like we're putting in effort. We want to feel like we're working on our trading. But for me, less is always more. Less is more. If I focus on only A+ setups and I take just 1 trade a week, my trading results are going to be much better than if I take 5 trades a week, a trade every single day. And so no matter how hard you want to work on trading, we need to remind ourselves that hard work in trading doesn't always mean putting in physical effort. Sometimes the most effective piece of work that you can do in trading is walking away, is setting up your pending orders or whatever it is, or taking your trade and then walking away and doing nothing more. For me, that made a massive difference once I implemented pending orders and then I walked away and I allowed the market to do whatever it is that it wanted to do. Those are 7 controversial things I learned from spending over $10,000 on Forex courses. If you agree or disagree with any of these, let me know in the comment section down below. That's totally fine. But if you're somewhat overwhelmed, which again is totally understandable, you should watch this video right here where we have an interview with our most successful funded trader at Lark Funding of all time. He has received over $30,000 in payouts, and there's a lot of nuggets that hopefully will help you on your trading journey. With that being said, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.